Hi, it's Nick with Run Testers, and this is our first run review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. So the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite is a very exciting shoe. It's the top of the range racer within Puma's new range of shoes coming in above the Puma Deviate Nitro. It's the shoe that Molly Seidel wore when she won the bronze in the Olympic marathon recently in an amazing run. And we were really keen to try it. We've finally been able to get hold of it. It's been quite hard to get hold of thus far, but hopefully it will become more available in the future. Some of the key stats of the shoe: it's a relatively cheap super shoe. It's £170 in the UK, $200 in the US, and €200. It's listed as a 36mm stack, but it does feel like it's slightly lower than that. It doesn't feel like such a high stack on the shoe, but it obviously is still coming in a fair bit below the maximum set by World Athletics of 40mm, and there's an 8mm drop from heel to toe. It's a very light shoe. My UK size 9 weighs 201 grams, which is 7.1 ounces. That's a fair bit lighter than the Deviate Nitro, which is kind of more like 270, 280, and that's pretty light even for a super shoe. Really, the only stuff around that kind of range is things like the Vaporfly and the Asics Metaspeed Sky, and then most are kind of actually now in the 220, 230 range in my size. One of the reasons it's so lightweight is the monomesh upper. Very popular nowadays, seeing less knitted uppers, especially on super shoes. Actually it's quite a stiff material and holds off the toes quite well, doesn't hug them that well, but it is quite a tight racing fit, I found, so you still get a good lockdown fit very easily from the upper. Obviously on this design it's slightly see-through, which does make it lighter and faster, everyone knows that. You're getting next to no padding on the kind of heel and tongue here. Heel is obviously a bit of a problem with Puma shoes lately. We'll talk a bit about the heel, but yeah, it's got a very similar design to what you're getting on the Deviate Nitro, which a lot of people have had heel rub issues with, including myself. The midsole, however, is different to the Deviate Nitro. It's still called Nitro foam, but this is Puma's elite version of it, and it's actually a PEBA-based foam that they've infused with nitrogen. So it's still kind of a supercritical nitrogen-infused foam, but instead of the kind of material used on the Deviate Nitro, you're getting a PEBA-based foam. PEBA is the kind of kingpin in running shoe foams, in many people's opinion. It's what goes in Zoom X for Nike and Saucony's Power Run PB. It's soft, it's lightweight, it's springy. It's soft enough that even with a 36mm stack, you can sandwich a carbon plate in this shoe and not really feel that harshness when you're out on the run. That carbon plate is Puma's inner plate. It is full length, but it kind of forks at the front on either side there a little bit. But yeah, it's got a decent bend and scoop, as you can see there, but not quite as dramatic as you can get if you do go for a slightly higher stack, up towards 40mm, as many brands do. Outsole is also a little different to the rest of Puma's range. It's still called Puma Grip, but it's called Puma Grip LT. I don't know if that just generally means it's lightweight. Obviously, it's still got a pretty good covering of rubber there, considering the shoe is coming in at 200 grams. But and it looks like it's going to grip quite well on my first run today, but we'll see. Test it out in some rain and that, but it still looks like a pretty impressive outsole for such a lightweight racing shoe. It should grip well and hopefully prolong the lifespan of the shoe. So about to head out my first session in the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. Looking forward to the run. I've got quite a big session lined up. These are quite well timed. Had a few days off after a race, and now I'm going back into full-on marathon training. I'm going to start off doing 20 minutes on with kind of 60 seconds off. I'm going to do the on minutes at kind of around 10k intensity, so not all out, and then the recoveries will be float recoveries, so I'll still be running there. Then a quick break, and then into 5k hard, followed by a 3-minute break, followed by 5k 2 minutes slower than the previous 5k. That's one of my coach's favourites, back-to-back 5ks. So far, yeah, nothing to report on the shoes. The fit it's tighter around the toe box than the Deviate Nitro and also the Velocity Nitro and all that. Actually, in the Deviate Nitro, I was able to go half a size down and still had a reasonably roomy fit, whereas in the Elite, in my normal size, they are quite close around the toes, which is nice. It's what you want in a racing shoe. Okay, let's go running. So I've just finished the workout, the second 5k there. I've still got to jog home. It's about 24k, and yeah, so far I've really enjoyed these Pumas. They're not the cushiest. I will say that in that kind of second 5k, a little slower than the previous one. I can still my body, my legs, and my feet starting to kind of feel the impact of running over half marathon distance. I've been doing it all in this little 1k loop near me, which is quite flat and quite boring, isn't it? Running 20k of loops around the same loops. Not to me, I like it. But it's been quite good. I ran the 5k fast really strong, actually. I felt good on that. I think I just did about 16 dead, and the Puma had a really nice pickup, and I actually did that, right towards the end when I wanted to kick in the last K just to try and get close to sub 16 as possible. It felt really nice. enough cush, enough kind of propulsion, but still very lightweight, fast shoe. Reminded me a bit actually of the Skechers in that regard, the Speed Elite, which is just a lovely pickup because it's so lightweight. And then, yeah, and obviously I've been running for over an hour and a half, and can feel the impact a bit. It's not maybe a shoe that I'd look at directly as a marathon shoe off this first run, but certainly be a great for a fast half marathon, 5k, 10k, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm gonna jog home and have a little think about how it compares to some other carbon shoes, and I'll do a little bit more chat then. But yeah, I like it. So home now, all done, just shy, well, around 26.7k done. First run in the shoes today, so I put a bit of faith in them and wasn't disappointed. They were really impressive on that hard workout. Like I say, they're not the cushiest, they're not the biggest stack. It doesn't feel like you're on a high stack with lots of squish when you're running on them, but there is response there. They're very lightweight. They're certainly a fast shoe. I think that kind of shorter distance stuff is actually really good for them. Like I say, by the end of the workout, legs started feeling a bit on that second 5k. Running around kind of 3:30k pace, started to feel a bit of ache in the legs, but it wasn't a problem. Like, held the pace comfortably. They're reasonably protective. I'd say there might be a marathon shoe for someone who's lighter than me. I'm about 70 kilos. If you're a very graceful runner who doesn't maybe hit the ground that hard, maybe you could look at them for longer distances. But yeah, I found them nice enough today for quite a long run. Like I say, longest run in a while. I had a fairly easy week, but legs felt good on there. I'd say trying to compare them to other shoes is a bit tricky because they're certainly firmer and less high than shoes I've been using recently, like the New Balance RC Elite 2, the Alpha Fly, even the Vaporfly. I think they're probably closer to something like the Asics Metaspeed Sky, but that is still cushier, probably more protective. And then, you know, I've also been using the Skechers Speed Elite recently, so it's probably in between the Speed Elite and something like the Metaspeed Sky or the Vaporfly, because they are more protective than the Speed Elite. Like, I've done 10-mile workout in those, and they do hit the legs pretty hard because they are quite a low profile, you know, fast carbon shoe, whereas these are more towards the high stack shoes, but they're not as cushy and protective as some of those ones I've mentioned there. But overall, yeah, I really like them so far. Really pleased there's no heel issues, definitely, and I'll be using them for a lot more running, and we'll get back to you with a full review down the line. So just a quick and somewhat disastrous epilogue. I do have some heel rub from the shoes. I just peeled off my thick socks for a shower and all that, and yeah, there's a little bit of blister forming on the back of my right kind of Achilles, exactly the same place I had it with the Deviate Nitro. I didn't notice on the run, it wasn't that bad, and as this is more of a racing shoe, you'll probably use it more sparingly. But yeah, if you have had big problems with something like the Deviate Nitro or the Liberate Nitro, the Deviate Nitro Elite is likely to cause similar issues in terms of heel rub. So that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think of this. Have you tried any of Puma's new shoes this year? What do you think of them? Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and yeah, we'll see you next time.